Hello YouTube, this is Latte Punch, and this week I'm reading a story about Applejack because it's Applejack Appreciation Month, and what better kind of story to read? It's called Applejack's Bar by Alaborn, a comedy slice of life. Due to a typo on her permit to build a new barn and the meddling of a recalcitrant bureaucrat, Applejack is stuck running a bar, at least until Mayor gets back to town. So sit down and have a drink in Ponyville's least likely watering hole. Chapter 1, Where Every Pony Knows Your Name. Applejack wiped her brow and gazed over Sweet Apple Acre. The apples were ripening beautifully. In a few days she and Big Macintosh would be busy apple bucking again. In the meantime, however, they had their new barn to finish. Inside, Apple Bloom, Granny Smith were installing the pins. Outside, Applejack and Big Macintosh were giving the new barn a fresh coat of paint, as red as her brother's coat. Applejack was about to pick up her paintbrush again when she spotted some pony approaching the barn. "Big Macintosh," she called, "we have a visitor. You get started and I'll deal with him." "Sure thing, sis," the stallion replied. The farm pony adjusted her hat and trotted up to meet the visitor. A fairly nondescript earth pony stallion with a brown coat and two-tone orange mane. "Well, howdy, partner," she greeted him enthusiastically. "Good day to you, Miss Applejack. I'm Keen Eye, from Town Hall, here to conduct your annual building inspection," the stallion replied. He offered Applejack the official paperwork. Applejack gave the documents a quick once-over. "I'll be happy to escort you around," she replied. The apples prided themselves on the quality of everything they did, and kept their buildings in tip-top shape. The inspector found no problems with the farmhouse, the old barn, the silo, or the two sheds. "There's one more building to inspect," Keen Eye said. "This says you build a new bar. Where is that building? A bar? That's preposterous," Applejack said. "Oh, y'all must mean the new barn," she realized. "That would make a lot more sense," Keen Eye agreed. He double-checked his paperwork. "But this does say I'm here to inspect a bar." "Well, I don't know what to tell you, partner," Applejack said. "Y'all ain't gonna find a bar on Sweet Apple Acres. I'll go ahead and delay my inspection for a month," Keen Eye said. "That will give you time to visit Town Hall and get this problem corrected." "Thank you," Applejack replied. "What you mean there's nothing y'all can do?" Applejack stared down the silver earth pony behind the desk. Her short blue mane was perfectly arranged on his head, unruffled by the slightest bit of hard work. The twist of red ribbon on his flank perfectly matched the name etched on the nameplate on his desk. "Red Tape." "I said I can't simply ignore the clearly written words on the permit the town council approved," the stallion explained evenly. "My forelegs are hobbled." "It's a typo! A typo!" Applejack exclaimed. "I'm sorry. You can raise the issue when the town council meets again in 5 weeks," he replied. "I want to speak to the mayor myself," Applejack stated. "I'm terribly sorry, miss. The mayor is attending the Equestria Society of Mayors and Town Managers annual meeting in Winnipeg. She won't be back for 10 days," Red Tape explained. "In the meantime, according to the permit, your bar is scheduled to be open in 3 days." "There ain't gonna be a bar, partner," Applejack replied angrily. "I'm afraid there will be substantial penalties for failing to meet the requirements of your permit, Miss Applejack. And need I remind you, the Apple Family commercial license is up for renewal soon," Red Tape added. "Ponyville in general not interested in doing business with lawbreakers." Applejack glared at the stallion, but he watched her calmly moving some papers around his desk. She wasn't going to be able to fix this alone. "Would you be interested in acquiring a copy of the regulations surrounding the operation of bars and restaurants?" Red Tape offered. "There will be a nominal fee of 10 bits, of course." Applejack paced angrily around. The Ponyville Library as Twilight Sparkle paged through a thick legal tome. "I'm sorry, Applejack," she finally said, as she finished. "As far as I can tell, everything Red Tape told you is in accordance with the law. I can't stand being held over a barrel by that varmint," Applejack spouted. "That no-good, lousy, stinking varmint." "Whoa there, Applejack," Twilight Sparkle cautioned. "Is there something between you two that I don't know about?" "About 2 years ago he asked me on a date. I turned him down. Ever since, our official interactions have been a mite cold," Applejack explained. "I'm sure he'd be helpful to any pony else. My only consolation to you is that the town charter grants the mayor the authority to approve changes to its official documents of a corrective and non-significant nature, subject to approval by the town council at their next meeting," Twilight Sparkle said. "So we just need to speak to the mayor, who won't be back in town for more than a week," Applejack continued. "What do I do?" Twilight Sparkle levitated several books off the library shelves. "You operate a bar. You do it in accordance with all regulation and with the same hard work you put into everything you do, and your friends will support you." Applejack broke the bad news to her family. No pony was happy, but the apples accepted it stoically, like any problem that befell the farm family. Big Macintosh disassembled part of the new barn's interior, freeing up the minimum required space for the tavern. Applebloom assembled the stall doors into makeshift bar, and Granny Smith brought out the Apple family's special reserves to sell. They all acknowledged it wasn't as bad as it could have been. For example, the family already had taps for cider season and a soda dispenser, normally only brought out for the family reunion. Similarly, the family's picnic tables and old chairs were repurposed. But there were so many little things Applejack needed to buy. Toothpicks, olives, mixers, those horrible little cherries with all the flavor sucked out of them. All of that was bits out of their rainy day fund, a fund already drawn down to pay for the new barn. And then, of course, was the alcohol. So many varieties of alcohol. They'd never drink it themselves, and they sure weren't going to serve their friends and family any alcohol not made from the Apple family apples. So much waste. Night 1. Applejack stood behind the bar, but looked outside. It was still light outside. She should be spending these hours bucking apples, and then enjoying a hearty meal with her family after sundown. But because all bars had to be open between the hours of 6 and 11 in the evening, the Orange Mare found herself inside the barn-turned bar. The Year's Pony turned and stared at the dozens of bottles behind her. They rested there, mocking her. They would never be open, because no pony would walk all the way Apple Acres to. The interior of the barn grew lighter as the barn door opened. A plum earth pony mare trotted in. "Howdy, Berry Punch," Applejack greeted her. "Didn't expect anybody to come here." "My berry sense told me to come here," she said. "What's a berry sense?" "You know Pinky Sense is like that, except for booze," Berry Punch replied matter-of-factly. She sidled up to the bar. "So what do you have?" "Well, as you can see, we have a full bar, but I hope you'll try some of the Apple family's hard cider." "Or what's in the unmarked bottle?" Berry Punch interrupted. "That's some of our special Apple family brandy blend with—" "You had me at brandy," Berry Punch again interrupted. "Brandy neat." Applejack poured Berry Punch a drink. The plum mare pounded back the drink. "Now I'll have another." The reluctant bartender looked at her customer crossly, but poured her a second drink. She consumed half of the second drink before setting down the glass. So, why do you come all the way here? Applejack asked Berry Punch. The bars in town don't want my business, Berry Punch replied. Applejack looked at the mare curiously. As the evening progressed, she began to understand why. The more she drank, the louder Berry Punch became. She lost any concept of personal space, and switched rapidly between exuberance and depression. "This is good stuff," Berry Punch slurred as she picked up her fifth glass. "What am I drinking again?" Applejack sighed. "As I tried to explain before, it's Apple Family brandy blended with whiskey." Berry Punch hugged Applejack. "That's brilliant. You should totally sell these. You should name it after yourself." Applejack pushed the plum mare away. "Yeah, maybe," she said non-committally. At least she was earning some bits for her family this evening. "Oh, and I forgot my purse," Berry Punch said. "Put dish on my tab." Applejack stared at Berry Punch. "Get out," she hissed. Night 2. A bored Applejack was reading the Bartender's Guide for the 8th time when the barn door opened. "Yeah, but since I'm doing this, I want to be the best I can, and this is not my best. This is a failure," Applejack stated. I wouldn't say that, Applejack," Twilight Sparkle argued. "You're doing a good job in a role you've never filled before. You'll do anything to help your family, and this experience just proves it. The way things are going, it's going to hurt my family in the end, even if we get the mayor to put an end to this," Applejack said. "Look, Applejack, I have an appointment with the mayor the day she gets back. Come with me. I'll make sure she corrects this permit. As for Twilight Sparkle trailed off. "You know, I shouldn't have left Spike alone. That wasn't a good thing for me to do as parental figure or as a friend." Twilight Sparkle's horn glowed and her books and papers returned to her saddlebag. "I'll see you later, Applejack," she said. And with Twilight Sparkle's rapid departure, Applejack found herself alone again.